very kindly taken out some time for all of us to speak on the topic of Leadership for an Age of Higher Consciousness, Volume 1. And we are on day 4 of the discussion today, starting from the various learnings that we had, how to identify on which platform we are to function, and from how to get empowered. And now today, further moving on to how talking more about energies. So we are very eager, Srila Gurudev, to be hearing from you today in the class today. And devotees from various parts of the world have joined today um, to hear from us and take benefit of the words that you're going to bless us with. So we invite you, Srila Gurudev, to please speak on this topic and bless us so that we can take benefit of it. Thank you so much, Srila Gurudev.
Hare Krishna, Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasai Bhutale Smriti Bhakti Dhira Swami. Namaste Krishna Padaya Prabhupada Shitan Manishi Gaura Karana Sakti. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasai Bhutale Smriti Bhakti Vedanta Swami. Namaste Saraswati Devi. Gaura Vani Pracharini Nirvisesa Sanya Vadi Pastata Desa Charini. Om Gyana Timirandasya Gyanandan Salakaya Chakyulan Militam Jana Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Mano Bishtam Sapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Padam Dati Swapadam Pandeham Sri Guru Sri Taparakam Sri Gurun Vaishnavam Sri Rupam Savidatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitantam Sajivam Sadhuitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Shaitam Natetam Sri Radha Krishna Param Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakanjitam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisa Gopika Kancha Radha Kanta Namasite Tapta Kanchana Gauri Radhe Vrindavanishwari Desavan Siti Devi Kumame Hari Priya Vanchakal Patarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Jaivacha Patitanam Pagunabhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. I'm very happy to be with all of you this afternoon. And we continue our leadership series discussion. So today we are looking at chapter 3. Chapter 3, activating higher energies. Right. Activating higher energies. We have the highlight, the highlight here, or the topic we're going to look at today. The nature of energy, the types of energy which we are dealing with every day. The characteristics of energy, means how they function. Transmuting energy, how do we change it? How do we transform it? Releasing and balancing negative energy. As much as well, you know, it is a notion of fault. Bhagavatam told us it's a notion of fault. So while we are trying to be positive, we shouldn't forget that we are in the abode of negativity, trying to become positive. That's what it means. Material world is opposite of the spiritual world. The spiritual world is positive, material world is negative. So trying to fight an opponent in the opponent domain is difficult. Spiritually speaking, when we look at a football match, when they are going to play against a country in their own country, it's expected that that country should exert more energy and defeat the opponent. And when the return match is coming to your domain, it's expected that the performance you did there should be more, the energy that was exerted there should be more of the energy in their own home, so that even if we're defeated outside, now you have to also defeat. That means the amount of energy that should be put in to be facilitated with the energy at home to win. So it is there materially. If somebody comes and defeat you in their home, it's like a disgrace. If someone defeats you in his or her place, people will not blame you much. You say, okay, yeah, in their place. So anyway, so they will have influence. And when we look at Bhagavad Gita, we will see the same experience. That the Dhritarashtra was afraid of the influence, the energy of that place. So this energy balancing is knowledge from here. When I put it on is short, but see, when I put it will shift. So Dhritarashtra was afraid of the influence of the energy in the holy environment, how it will affect the Pandavas potentially and spiritually favorably against his own children who are negative. So it's something that we are dealing with every day. So we have to be aware and know how to consciously deal with the energy that we use every day. Like we're breathing every day, like we eat every day, like we breathe every day. And everything we deal with, so all energy everything has Shakti, potency. Protecting yourself during sleep. It's a very big science, how to protect ourselves. See, when one is asleep, you are dead. So you are completely helpless. But how do we protect ourselves while we are sleeping, although in a helpless situation? We have to learn the science, especially as a leader. It is compulsory for everyone, but especially for leaders. Masculine and feminine energies. These energies, they are always available and they flow every moment. They flow every moment. And as much as we can dominate this or have the experience to apply this energy, that is how also we're dominating and controlling everything around us. And then we are looking at the left brain and the right brain attributes. And then the last illusion. The last illusion. Is God only the father, or also God is the mother as well? So these are the things we're going to look in 1.5 hours or so today. So we're going to lesson number 1. Human beings live in the cosmic river of flowing energy. Energy is, everything is energy. All energy is in motion. whether or not that motion is perceptible to the lower gross human sense of light, of sight, smell, touch, taste, or hearing. But it is a fact that we are bombarded with vibrations every day. We are constantly bombarded with vibrations. And some are aware and some are not so aware. And then some who are aware, they are manipulated. So as a leader, it is very, very important to understand how this energy is working, how it's affecting us, how we affect everything. Right? Energy is composed of light, the light that emanates from God. Light is a part of matter residing inside every atom. This also should help us understand that there is no empty space anywhere. There is no way that we find empty space. Everything is occupied with energy, with vibrations. And especially for those who are very, very psychic, we have a lot of examples here. Jesus heals a dying person. How did he do that? Some Shakti, some energy is being transferred. And in the psychic world, we have something like clairaudience. Clairaudience is the science of hearing something which is not physical. Presently, we hear sound which is only physical. Anything which is not physical, we cannot hear. Clairaudience, you'll be able to hear something, a subtle sound, a sound which is not so gross. Not so gross. That is clairaudience or clairvoyance. One will be able to see things which is not physical, or see something in the distance which is not even physically present with us. Psychokinesis. Psychokinesis, I can remove key. I can push you without touching you physically. Can push you without touching you physically. Or you with the sound, you can push someone away. Get out from here, and you see the person is thrown away in the far distance without physically touching the person. So how can any foolish person, only a foolish person will say that, oh, this is a fiction. These are fiction. There is no spirit. It's only a fool can say like that. Everything is completely so charged. Completely so charged. It's full with energy, with vibrations, with light. The fact that we are conditioned to this, to the level that we cannot function beyond the gross level. It doesn't mean that that is the end of everything. So Jesus had the ability to heal somebody. How did he do that? Some energy had been transferred. I don't know. Oh, it's the mistake from here. It's showing there.
Only for the devotee who is just helping for the mobile, they have to click on disconnect audio. Then we'll not hear the echo. From the bottom right corner, yeah.
Right. I showed last time.
Yeah, because we can still see that the audio is connected for the second device.
I think it's gone.
Yeah, I think.
It's gone now.
Yeah, it's gone now, Shila Gurudev.
Yes, that's what I forgot. Last time we did that.
Yes.
And I forgot. You keep reminding me about this. So we're discussing energy. That is a psychokinesis to touch somebody without physically. I remember the first mystic one I met who was teaching us on body sciences of applying different energies like this. Lobsang Rampa. Lobsang Rampa. I read his books before I came to Christian consciousness. I was reading his books. So in one exercises he taught us a machine was brought. A machine, like a generator, is brought in, and without the key. He was holding the key, and he asked the student, "You start the machine without the key." Can do that. So, so we tried, but we couldn't penetrate. Then he came forward and said, "Okay, I have to show you." So from the mind, from the mind, because of the practice, because of the practice of using how to apply energy, different techniques in applying energy in something like I mentioned, psychokinesis, clairvoyance. Clairvoyance, you see something. Telepathy can communicate with people who are not physically present also. Telepathy. So because of the practice he has on understanding his ability, with the mind, he can construct a key from the mind and put the key inside and start it. The machine started. This is energy. We are of energy. So it is said here, energy is composed of light, the light that emanates from God. Everything is coming from Krishna. Light is at the heart of matter, residing inside every atom. Every atom. We shouldn't forget, we are repeating always that the matter is innate. But spirit motivates everything. So in everything there is Shakti. In everything there is Shakti. There is energy in everything. In everything. So you see some people are worshiping tree. See some people worship stone. Some people worship mountain. Some people they worship sea. Get some inspiration. They get something from that because they identify with a certain level of energy. So we see here that Jesus is healing somebody without giving medicine. He didn't give medicine, but he could heal somebody just by touching the person and praying. Today we have so many Christians who are doing this thing, but they are using it to cheat people. They don't use it. When Jesus did this, he didn't take money from it. And he didn't make any crusade about it. So those who have the real energy, a leader should know how to apply everything Christian consciously, so that our duty as leader is to help to promote people Christian consciousness and not to degrade anything and everyone. That's the position of a leader. And that's why this topic is important for us to learn. They will also see here Lord Vishnu. A second example, we see Lord Vishnu and Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj has engaged himself in pranayama, in severe, heavy austerity and brutal exercise. He brutal so much so that his spiritual energies choke the whole universe. That is the potency of a pure devotee. A pure devotee's activity will affect the whole universe positively. Demons also, they can affect the whole universe negatively, but devotees, they affect the whole universe positively. Like the Prabhupada. He chanted the holy name and he has vibrated the whole universe. The whole universe is dancing in the kirtan of Srila Prabhupada. That is the energy he has put into his spirit, his chanting. And the whole universe is benefiting from that. So here, Dhira Maharaj, Krishna consciousness was so powerful that the energy shook the whole world. When the demigod, they cried to the Brahma, is the world coming to an end now? Is it a time of dissolution? The Brahma said, no, one of my grandson is become austerity. His energy is so powerful that the whole universe is affected by it. That is how devotees should be. That is how all of us are leaders. We should look at what we are here to do. We are in Krishna consciousness to vibrate this high energy that everybody will benefit. Spiritually, Krishna consciously. So Lord Vishnu, he came and touched Dhira Maharaj with the conch shell. The conch shell of Lord Krishna is the Vedas, contain all the Vedas. All the Vedas are when he touched Dhira Maharaj on the forehead with the conch shell, everything was revealed to Dhira. And the remaining particle of contamination that were there, they completely immediately destroyed. And Dhruva was able to offer eloquent prayers. In the Prabhupada mentioned that only when a person is blessed by this higher energy, that one will offer such a beautiful prayer to Lord Krishna. All right? What is the nature of energy? This energy, also known as prana, mana, chi, or ki, encompasses everything that exists. It is inexhaustible. Why? Because it's coming from Krishna, inexhaustible. Each of one says anything that comes from Krishna is also complete, like Krishna. So it is inexhaustible because it's coming from Krishna, and it cannot be finished because it comes from Krishna, the source of everything. It is inexhaustible. The very air people breathe is filled with it. And the entire universe can be considered an electrical energy grid. Grid, not G-R-E-D. This is G-R-I-D, grid. That conduct these energies. In this view, a person's energies travel across this grid like sound waves, having an effect on various other energies as they move, and then bouncing back in kind. That is, if we are producing a kind energy, we are going to get back, when it bounces back, we are going to get back the amount of energy which we put in. So everything has connection, and you can see the source, the super soul. As we say in the beginning, there is nothing like empty space anywhere. And everything is eternally and consciously connected with Krishna, the supreme super soul. The energy spread everywhere. And everybody is eternally conducted with this energy. Everything. And which also part of the sciences are related to gravitational force. It's coming from the Vishnu. Gravitational force. It's not something discovered by who? Newton. Not Newton. He's a cheater. He got the prize for nothing. He's a fool. He's a cheater. The gravitational force, the source of energy is Krishna. It's coming from Super Soul. That you can see very clearly. So we simply claim Krishna's energy and make a show of it as if we're the honor. But when the honor takes us there, we are miserable and frustrated. All right? The types of energy consumed. Although invisible to the naked eye, thoughts are things. We should try to understand this very clearly. Thoughts are things, they are substance. Like this morning, one question was, this morning by what time in lecture, one question was, when we hear spirit, we are thinking of intangible things. So how can Vina or Narada Muni, which is tangible, be spiritual? Then we're saying that there is nothing that is intangible. Even sound is tangible. The energy is tangible because we can feel it. So everything is tangible. It is substance. So Krishna consciousness is substance. And all material things are coming from the spiritual. How nature configure everything from spiritual to material is a very big science. That is supreme mathematics and is Lord Vishnu, who is what? Karana. The Karana, the cause of everything. He's a supreme mathematician. Now we go to school to learn mathematics, to learn algebra.
It's 3 o'clock.
Thank you. But we should know that the origin is the supreme Lord Mahavishnu, who is the Karana Vishnu. He causes everything. So, thoughts are things. They are individual electrical configurations that group themselves with similar energy to form clusters. They are real. They are substantive. They are a force that everyone can learn to balance and control. Very, very powerful point we should look at. Thought are things. When we think of something, it's like when you send a message, somebody sends a message. Are you going to get back the report? So we need a feedback, right? We need a feedback. When you send a message, you send someone on an errand, go and deliver this. You are expecting that the person is going to come back to tell you it has been delivered. You know? So that is how thought works. When we think of something, we have sent that energy into the ethereal energy. So they will all mix together, and the result is that it will be bounced back to us. It will be thrown back to us. Sometimes you see someone is unnecessarily angry, even though nobody has caused you anything, even though nobody there with you, you are unnecessarily angry because of negative thought which we have been building since time immemorial. One is without a cause happy for some time when the mood of goodness is predominant. Or you see some people who are like sadists. Everything, every time they are not happy with everything is a problem. Sadist, always sad, morose, nothing is good. They are always uptight. Why? It is the kind of thought we are sending to the ether that the result comes back and making us miserable, unhappy always. Even if you have material facilities that surround us for sending education, we'll still be sadist because of the nature of our thoughts, the nature of our thinking, the way we think as a person. So it is very, very important, as I said, thought are things, they are individual electrical configurations that group themselves with a similar energy to form clusters. When that is happening, it will come back to the boom, and we'll feel miserable or whatever, or happy. If we are sending positive energy, we're going to get it back. Positivity, we're going to feel happy and satisfied. If you are sending negativity, we're going to get it. So we should be very, very careful how we are using our mind every day. Just like if you sit under a Kalpa Vriksha tree, if you sit under a Kalpa Vriksha tree, and then he was thinking positively, or thinking positively about the fruit he was thinking, and After eating that, while he was thinking that, he was also thinking of tiger, and tiger came and ate him up. So we have we have to look at the quality of our thought. We should not just think that it is nothing. It is something. It is something. It is something which is real. It is tangible, our thought. If we are thinking negatively about somebody, death. If you're constantly thinking of death, you will get it very soon before your time, because you are reducing the duration of our lives. If you are constantly thinking of trouble, oh, this trouble, or that trouble, all the time, you will always have trouble. Always you'll be having trouble. Always, because that is what you are meditating upon. Trouble. If you are a manager and you are constantly thinking of different problems that have it, you will continue to have problems in your leadership. The troubles will come, they're already there, planned for us. There's no need for us to add again to the problem. Our business as leaders, as a devotee, is to put ourselves in Krishna consciousness in such a way that all negative things are being transformed into positive things, into Krishna consciousness. This is the difference. And especially for leaders who are carrying people along. We are carrying people along. The people we are carrying along, we should have a positive energy to be able to conduct and carry people, because any mistake we make is going to be spread. Because energy is real. So also our thought is real. They will go and become mature. And the result in maturity comes back. Excuse me. So we should not be sadists. How to do that is to change the way we are thinking. If you are thinking, usually thinking, oh, I should do this, I'll not become poor. So you always remain a poor person, because your poverty is not because you are poor, but you have a poverty consciousness. And poverty consciousness is very, very dangerous. If one is poor, he can become rich. But a person who has a poverty consciousness will not become rich. Never, because there's no chance for it to become rich. Because the nature of our thought is not give a chance for any positive things to come in. All right? Characteristic of energy. Energy is impartial, yes. Non-resistant and totally malleable to individual desires. Yes. So that is why even you see twins will have different experience. Why? Because although we are twins, there are differences in how we're thinking. So we're going to have the same corresponding result of how we are thinking. So even if we are twins, we're going to have different situations because of the way we think. It is impartial because you're going to respond to that according to. There's no cheating. As Krishna explained Bhagavad Gita, as we surrender, that is how he will respond. There's no cheating. We can only cheat ourselves by the quality of our thoughts, or the kind of energy which we are building around us, the kind of energy we are emanating, the energy we are spreading, we are distributing, and also the energy we are also imbibing to our unconsciousness. It will respond to that. It is non-resistant and totally malleable to individual desires. A person's free will determines how it will be used and at what vibratory level it will operate. A high level for spiritual purposes, or a low one for selfish ends. Impartial. For material, for self-education, you're going to get. Like, I know one psychic master who was teaching us the psychic thing. If one is not a devotee, everything is very, very dangerous. If one is not a devotee, everything. One is not a Krishna concept is very dangerous. Everything dangerous. Our thought dangerous. Our activity dangerous. Our speech, our sight, our everything, our self dangerous. For one who is not a devotee. That is why Bhagavad recommends in all circumstances become a devotee. In all circumstances, because to be a devotee is safe. So this one teaching us a so-called spiritual thing. That time we don't know anything. It's a spiritual thing, mystic thing. Very, very nice. Feel. So he trained the student to levitate. And after levitation, this is part of the energy science. After levitation, when you go to up, and then false ego comes in. Now everything under you is under your control. You own it. You own it. So you see the false ego. That is why so many leaders are manipulative and exploitative. Because I'm thinking that I'm above you, I'm above everything under me. All of you are my property for self education. So that mentality in a so-called psychic forum, this kind of energies happen. That is why we should know the difference between mystic power and spiritual power. Mystic power is material. Spiritual power is pure. There are so many mystics who are cannibals, being demonic. All the demons, they have mystic power. All the demons, very, very powerful. But how do they do that? How do they use that? Useless. So it depends on our intent. What is behind what we're doing? We are practicing Krishna consciousness. We are becoming a leader for what? To exploit people, to have better chance to cheat people. We are becoming leaders so we can make some sacrifice our pleasure to be able to help people. That kind of energy is very, very important. The intent ultimately known only to the individual and to God is what determines this vibratory level, rather than the ultimate outcome of one's actions. We know what is in our mind, and God knows what is in our mind. Other people may not know, but Krishna knows. And He knows everything. Everything which is within us. He knows. And He will respond to that. Next. Characteristics of energies. Worry is a prayer for something one does not want. Praying to Krishna. For what? Krishna, I don't want headache. Krishna, please, I don't want stomach ache. Krishna, please, take it out. I can chant. That's the secondary thing. Not every person are going to become Krishna. The moment Krishna answer our prayer, we forget it. Until when we get problem again, oh Krishna, this another time. I'll come again, please help me. We never ask Krishna, hey my dear Krishna, so how are you doing today? What service can I do for you? That is difficult for me. Many people to do. Our prayer is not actually prayers. Our prayer is actually harassment to God. Prayer is not harassment. Prayer is to glorify the Supreme Lord, to describe His qualities, to offer His quality, to chant His glories. In this way, Krishna will help us to get Him. He will give Himself to us. But constantly harassing God, He's not going to give Himself. Because nobody will give himself or herself to someone who constantly harass you. Prabhu, can you give me this? Prabhu, can you give me that? Hey, Mataji, what about this? Can you help me with this? Can you do this? Can you do this? Nobody wants to associate with the person who is so nasty like that. Everybody wants to associate with somebody who is very pleasing. The presence makes you happy. And you see, when people come to Slapa, they don't want to leave him. When you go to proper, you want to stay. It's difficult to leave. That is how you know a holy person. You're not giving him money, you're not giving it physical thing, but nobody wants to leave. that they prove to show the holiness of a person. It's attractive, even though the body is ugly, but the person is attractive. What is attractive is not the body, it is the level of Krishna consciousness in that person that is attracting us. To avoid an undesirable outcome, people can learn to control their thoughts, especially when they are under stress and have an emotional investment in the desired outcome. This is very, very, very important point. When we are in distress, how do we think? When we have difficulties, how do we respond to such situations? It depends on the amount of energy which we are dealing with. But one who has a very high energy, when the challenges come, that is a time for introspection, not a time for agitation. So as a leader, we should learn how to balance our energy so that in all circumstances, we know how to act in every given time, what to do, how to respond to every situation positively. We already discussed this. A devotee should always make every negative thing positive, and every positive thing more positive. How do we handle stress? Huh? People can learn how to control their thoughts, especially when they are under stress, and have an emotional investment in the desired outcome. How do we respond to situation, stress? We extend it, become miserable, become despondent, and completely confused, don't know what to do? How do we handle stress? Something that should be carefully considered. When something happens, say we have emotional breakdown. A devotee should not have emotional breakdown. A devotee shouldn't. At every given time, Krishna is showing a mirror to us every moment. At every moment, Krishna shows a mirror to us. Every devotee in Krishna consciousness, Krishna shows us a mirror. But because we are not developed, because we don't have this knowledge, this science, we don't know how to respond to different situations. See how pure devotees respond to situations. They are calm. Therefore, they will come out with success. They will not complicate the issue, rather they will repair the issue. This requires a heavy amount of the development of practice to get to this level. That is why Lord Staff Day 1, don't be a leader. We must have all these qualities to be able to know what to do at any given time. Many times you see what is happening, but you don't learn anything. You should learn. Two devotees came to me with difficulty. They were shouting at each other. And they dragged themselves. They didn't start there. They were doing it before. Then they dragged themselves to me. I was sitting here and they came inside here. They have come to report an issue to me, but they're not talking to me. They were shouting themselves. I just sat there and was looking at them. I didn't say anything to all of them. I sat there and they were looking. And they were looking at me, looking at this and shouting. When they were then going to say, Maharaj, you see? You see? I sat there, I'm not saying anything. So I didn't say anything. I left them to shout. When they got tired, they left with shame because they didn't add me to their nonsense. I refused to join their nonsense. So I stayed outside. I left them to do their nonsense. When they got tired, shamelessly, I didn't tell them to stop. Nobody told them to. They quietly stopped themselves and went back. We should be trained so we don't enter into unnecessary energy that people come to display to bring us into their level. To be trained. All right? Transmitting energy. The decision to function in the positive mode represents the first step in transmitting energy to higher level, which means raising its vibratory rate. Energy transmitted in this way attracts even more positive energy, producing a snowball effect that further enhances the benefit of an existing situation or helps speed the creation of a new desirable one. Next, release and balance negative energy. It is important to remember that energy can be balanced and that the ultimate goal of working with energy is to achieve such a state of equilibrium. Yes. Although you may think you are facing overwhelming odds at times, remember that the basic laws of mathematics also apply to balancing energy. Every day, we have this right, we have this opportunity to balance negative energy. We're going to look at different technologies, how to do that. How do we balance the energy? Because the whole practice, why we're practicing, is to, as I mentioned at the beginning, we're in the negative domain, is to come to the spiritual level from where we are, from the negative place, to come up. It's a serious practice. It's a serious activity. So spiritual activity, spiritual life is not for common people. It is for people that are very, very serious. Only love can conquer hate, nothing else. It's one of the technologies. One of the technologies to balance negative energy. So we should try to understand this. So a devotee asked me, see, this Prabhu insulted me. So what is wrong if I give it back to him so that he can learn a lesson that is not good to insult somebody? I said, Prabhu, that is not the way. That is not the way. What is the difference between two of you? What is the difference? You have not shown anything to show that you are better than this person. Both of you are on the same level. So how can you preach to the person? A teacher can preach to the student, but both of us are students. What are you going to teach me? Except you become better than me. So a person insults you and insult the person back. How are you better? You're on the same level with the person. To be better means that you should not respond in the same coin. We have to show a higher energy. So only love can conquer hate. You cannot hate the person because the person hates me. I have to hate the person. And somebody said, I hate you to the core of my heart. A devotee is speaking like that. I hate you to the core of my heart. I was frightened just to hear that word. I was frightened. A devotee. I hate you to the core of my heart. And when the situation was carefully analyzed, he is at fault. So you shouldn't be surprised that the person can hate someone to the core of his heart because he is on that level. A person who is on a higher level would not do that. Hate cannot be controlled by hate. Hate can be controlled by love. When we show a higher energy, then we can control. You won't have the ability to understand the strength, the energy to control every negative situation. It depends on the amount of love we have for somebody in our heart. The amount of energy we have, amount of love we have for somebody in our heart. So you see, in the Bhagavatam, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th Canto, chapter 18, text 9. The prayers offered to the Lord by the resident of Jambudvip. Let there be good fortune throughout the universe, and may all envious persons be pacified. May all living entities become calm by practicing Bhakti Yoga. For by accepting devotional service, they will think of each other's welfare. They will think of each other's welfare. I'm not looking at what they are doing to me. I'm looking at what I can do to help you. This is Krishna consciousness. But by repeating this word, we don't pay people of the same coin. Don't pay people of the same coin. We should pay people with different coin. Use love to cure, to conquer hate. And the highest weapon the Gurudev have been teaching is love. Anyone who has love for people will never be defeated in all circumstances. But because he has a higher level of energy. Therefore, let us all engage in the service of the Supreme Transcendence, Lord Sri Krishna, and always remain absorbed in thought of him. Why should we pray for our enemies? Why we should pray for our enemies? Somebody hate you to the core of his or her heart. Why should we pray for the good, for the fortune of that person? Why should we pray that this person should be helped, should be blessed by Krishna? The person who hate you, it's not good to hate the person back. Gurudev said, no, only love can conquer hate. If you want to change the person, if you want to change every person, like I was telling that devotee, you can transform that person only when you show the person a higher energy. When you love the person hates you, will love the person, will smile. You smile joyfully. You feel sorry for the person. That person will be affected by the amount of love which you are shown to the person. And that person will change from the negative side to positive side. So we can only correct people for the higher energy. So Gurudev said, all negative energy should be used. All we should use the positive energy to correct negative energy. The people who hate us to the core of the heart, we should love them. We should show them affection. We should help them in the difficulty. We not say, yes, now it's time for me to revenge. All the nonsense you have been doing to me since nature has got you now. Yes, let me finish you. That is not Krishna consciousness. We should help the person to become advanced in Krishna consciousness. And Krishna will also help us to become more advanced, to become successful in our Krishna consciousness. We cannot get the message of Krishna by hating people because they hate us. That is not how this energy works. It is different. So it is important to remember that energy can be balanced. Like the ultimate goal of working But energy is to achieve such a state of equilibrium. Although you may think you are facing overwhelming odds at times, remember that the basic laws of mathematics also apply to balancing energy. 1 plus 1 is always 2, it's not 3, it's not 1. The same thing. If you use a higher energy for something, we will be able to balance that energy and the person will support it. For example, if you pray for someone who is very anxious, if you pray for a person who is attacking, who hates us, when that person becomes transformed, you will have the opportunity to practice nicely because you don't have any energy that is bombarding us all the time. So it will be less. You can have a free time to practice very nicely. When we help people who are against us, we will have chance to practice very nicely. All right. Protecting yourself while sleeping. In the mind, you can be very loving and say, I realize that you are in a state of bewilderment. Please come and chant with me. Let us glorify the Lord together. Let us become absorbed in spiritual activity and get properly nourished. This we can do. We can do this. We should practice doing this. That is why it is called technology. We should practice. While we are asleep, we are unconscious. How do we do this? There are more spiritual technologies around to help us in sleep. You have more things that many technologies. Yes. Step to raise consciousness before going to sleep. Place a spiritual painting or image of a great saint at the head of your bed. This has to be done. They are physical and then they are also spiritual or subtle one. So these are physical. 2, place spiritual books near your head at night. Before you place the spiritual book, there is better. This is a spiritual one. This is a subtle one or spiritual one. You should read the book before you can leave it down and sleep. 3, you can sprinkle such a holy water in your sleeping environment. You sprinkle holy water. We have my water. We have Ganges water, Jamuna water, or other Kunsamakun water. You can sprinkle around. Also, I got this from Krishna Nika Kaumudi. Krishna, before sleeping, even Krishna himself, the supreme personal Godhead, of course, he has come here to teach us. He will sprinkle water on his face and the feet before sleeping. Krishna does this regularly. Or we should play a lecture or a kirtan. If you are hearing kirtan or hearing lecture, like most of you who have been with you will notice that throughout the whole night, I play the narrations from Krishna, different narrations from Krishna. So throughout, it's very wonderful experience. So here we have physical activities to do by placing spiritual. You have a lot of Krishna painting, so many pictures around deities. There's so many. The spiritual world, everything is so nice. So that is sprinkle the holy water. That is also there. We have a special book. It's also the Bhagavatam. We read the book before we sleep. You can hear the lecture. There's a special master. You can hear the lecture. You can hear Prabhupada. You can hear narrations. All the books which are being narrated. I'm all about it for you. It's already built Krishna Goswami and many other which is I have narrated so many pastimes of Krishna. You should hear this attentively, because even if for a short moment before you sleep, very, very powerful. This is mindful sleep. And then something else to add, how we live our day, how we live the whole day, what do we do? Spiritual thing, how do we think, how to remember? We should also work on this. So all this thing together, it will help us to protect ourselves while we're sleeping, and also to help us have a mindful sleep. Very important. All right. Masculine and feminine energies, regardless of whether the body is male or female. Energy is energy. We already discussed it's an impartial. We already discussed that energy is impartial. The only difference is how we are composing ourselves, or how we channel all this energy, whatever within us, or how much knowledge we have about everything and how to apply things favorably or negatively. That is it. But in all, everybody has this energy to a larger or lesser degree. So either we have male or female body, mentally and spiritually, everyone is androgynous. In the world, is psychologically programmed to believe that one sex is more important than the other. This statement may provoke some resistance, or perhaps even a violent reaction. However, any opposition to this reality is futile, because sex androgyny, like reincarnation and the karmic scoreboard, is a universal reality that cannot be changed by egocentrism or a need to dominate and manipulate. And our today world is that we're having a lot of reactions coming from the action the men also project, or how the men behave towards women. It is bringing some heavy negative overreaction, even in our movement. It is due to immaturity. It is due to immaturity, because everything has its purpose. Everything. There's nothing which is less, there's nothing which is more. What is important is how spiritual, how Christian conscious we are. That is the most important. Anything else beyond this is useless, is material. And how we apply this thing will provoke a conflict, which is, it is happening. Yes, it's already happening, which is uncalled for. It is unnecessary, but it is happening because of our immaturity. How do you understand this? For example, if I think that you are not important for me, say it's a man and a woman, and you're not important for me, you're a woman, you're not important. But why should I keep you? You are not important. Why? If something not important, it should not be there. And anything that is what you means it is important. If it's not important, it should not be there. This is just a common sense, but people don't have common sense. Everything is important. Everything. God cannot make mistake by giving what he has given. It is we who are making mistake because we have a poor fund of knowledge. We don't know how to apply things. And another point we should understand is, I am higher than you, are higher than me. Higher and lower, heat and cool, black and white. What is it? According to Bhagavad Gita, duality. This is duality. Duality is not perfection. Duality is condition. Superiority complex, inferiority complex. Both of them are material, useless, and they have nothing to do with reality. Superiority complex or inferiority complex. Both of them are material. They are just the body. I'm superior to you. Yes, if I'm superior to you, if you are superior to me, I'm inferior to you. If you are inferior to me, I'm superior to you. You can never see someone who is the same. Only Krishna. Only Krishna is man and woman. No one else is man and a woman. You're a man, you're a man. You're a woman, you're a woman. You cannot be two. But Krishna only can be two. So we have God the Father, we also have God the Mother. And we are going to look at many examples from different traditions to confirm this. Not only in Krishna consciousness, then we end it with Krishna consciousness. Next, see different examples from different faiths to prove this. Recognize the totality of your being and assess masculine and feminine energies as required, being guided by your higher self, not necessarily by the established social norms. Today, people are acting irrationally or whimsically. Krishna is teaching us this. We should use the higher self to control the lower self. This is what Krishna is taught. When we use the higher self, we are going to do things perfectly. Because our so-called mundane understanding does not help solve any situation. Rather, it will increase the problem. So everyone, man or woman, we have two natures. Everyone has the two natures. That is there in all species of life, not just one-sided. Whatever our society today tells us is all wrong, and it will only help to increase our illusion and our demonic behavior towards each other. Therefore, we have to rise above this level to a higher consciousness. Next. It is time to re-enthron the Mother God. She has never ceased to exist despite the many attempts to degrade her and eliminate her role. At the highest level, the Mother represents all of the feminine qualities and powers in the universe. It is not a man who maintains. It's a woman that maintains. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna said, Natad Basayate Surya, na sasanka na pavakaha. Yet gato na derivate tita dam parama mama. Parama, the Supreme Mother. The Supreme Mother is there to take care of everyone. Srimati Radharani is the Supreme Mother. And we know that she is the one controlling everything. She controls everything. Control also Krishna, the Supreme. So Krishna said, he come to Goloka, I'm there to maintain you. He said, Parama, the Supreme Mother is there to take care. And that is why if you go there, you will not come back here again, because Srimati Radharani is capable of maintaining and taking care of everyone. All right? So we should carefully look at our Supreme Sisi Radha Syama Sundara Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. I wouldn't know if there's questions or comments. Now you can bring it.
Hare Krishna Srila Gurudev. We have Pranhari Prabhuji with a question. He has raised his hand.
Please go ahead, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Nice to hear you again. It's really inspiring, and changing my life at least. The negative part is at least trying to. I'll improve now. There are a lot of things. I'm really happy that you. I think it's meant for me, especially this particular lecture. I see that.
It's for all of us.
I think
Thank
it
you.
is. It's like it's. Yeah, it's. I think it's like coming directly to me. Every sentence you're speaking, it's like it's me in that negative part of it.
All of us.
Okay, Maharaj, my question, there are a couple of questions. One question is that, as you mentioned about the energy, so why the energy fluctuate? It varies. Why? It's when our energy changes in terms of acceptance of any things happening around us, whether in the Krishna consciousness or in terms of dealing with devotees. Why energy change? Why we are not able to reflect that in a positive way? My first question.
Yeah, it is due to the quality of our practice. It's just like a person who has a weak immune system. Whenever there is any disease, be the first person to carry it because the system is weak. Similarly, if we are not strong in Krishna consciousness, we're looking about this, how we handled our stress. We become emotionally down or destroyed or helpless. Why? Someone is so much in a distress for something that's happened and that will happen, which is due to our own negative activities. And we're going to break our heads. We're not going to greet anybody. We're not going to think anything. It is. I mentioned before that Krishna at every time shows a mirror to us. What is a mirror? To let us know where we are by presenting a situation to us and see how we are handling it. So because we don't know this, we react negatively. If we know this, we're going to respond positively. This is what we see pure devotees do. They handle every situation. Why? Because of the quality of their own energy, the spiritual energy they have. They have understanding of the scripture. They have practiced it. They have built a lot of energy within them. Therefore, they can distribute that. So when something else happens, they remain balanced. Like you're driving and shock absorber in the car. If you have a shock absorber in your car, when you enter any potholes, you don't feel it that much. As when the springs are weak, it will. But if the shock absorber is there, it will spring. The spring. So you won't feel much about it. The same way in our Christian consciousness, we are experiencing, we are going through this, but we don't see it physically. But this is what is happening. And in good association to hear this, why we are hearing this, why our charities they are putting everything down for us, their life, they put their life down for us because this is what they passed through, this is what they did, this is their experience, and they want us to learn so that we can get to the level where they are. Like this morning, we're looking at Narada Muni. Narada Muni begged for Krishna to give him service. He can play music for Krishna. And Krishna blessed him. He trained him and he gave him the vina. And after that, Prabhupada mentioned a purport that Narada Muni executed his duty perfectly as he prayed for. And all of us should follow in the footsteps to get to the level. So we the energy fluctuates because of our 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 background is weak. So when we are in distress, it's the time we're going to show what is the foundation of our Krishna consciousness, what is the quality of our practice of Krishna consciousness. It is when something happens. That is why I mentioned the mirror. At the time, Krishna is showing the mirror to see how we react to the situation.
True.
We respond positively in such a way that that person who hates us to the core is being benefited. That is Krishna consciousness. It is very easy for me to pay the person back the same way. Oh, you have been hating me. You don't like me. So your problem is my business. Get lost. In fact, I will pray Krishna to give you more. But in that way, I may feel that I have done something. Yeah, yeah, everybody, yeah, yeah, you give it to him. But actually, it is negative because I didn't make advancement from it. Why I didn't make advancement? I didn't help that lower person to make advancement. Therefore, I cannot make advancement. If I have helped the person to make advancement, Krishna also give me advancement. This is how we make advancement. And that depends also on what is the quality of our practice? What is the background? What is our foundation? How we practicing? It shows how we respond to a different situation. Learning from this, then we can intensify our practice so that whatever happens will remain fixed and yes to Krishna, or progressive, or smile to the situation and move on. So yesterday we're having some experience. Yesterday, day before yesterday, we're having some experience of fix. I wanted to fix a cabinet, and I wanted to fix a cabinet, and then for 4 hours, heavy argument and argument is going. Do this, do that, don't do this. Everybody will put our head together. So I was standing one side and looking at it. More than 4 hours we spent. Then I said, hey, Prabhu, please, can everybody stop where we are? Can we stop here? Please, everybody should stop here. So everybody stop. So please, the carpenter who made this, called him. And the man came less than 30 minutes. Something less than 30 minutes. The things which 100 people couldn't do for more than 4 hours. The person came and did it without noise, no anxiety, no tension, no argument. Less than 30 minutes, fixed everything perfectly, and just went away.
Oh.
Suppose we're together fighting. You think this intervention, positive intervention, will come inside? No, because we're all the same. We will not have any higher understanding to see what is happening and get a positive solution. We need to practice. Christian consciousness is every day. Examination is every day, available moment. But we are not conscious, even though we are speaking there. We are not conscious. To be conscious of what is Krishna consciousness is. Gurudev mentioned is to be conscious of Krishna all the time, not sometimes, all the time. That is Krishna consciousness.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you, Maharaj. Maharaj, one more question is that you mentioned that reaction are coming. What action we have performed due to immaturity?
Yes.
So, Maharaj, like we got this birth in this material life. We don't know what immaturity action we have performed in our past life. Now we are trying to control in this life. So how to remove those on a fast track, these action we have performed in our previous life?
You see, it's when you look at the life of all the sages, the sadhus, you think they are fools when they go to perform austerity? You think they are fools?
No, no.
They are definitely doing that. Why? Because they know this is the way to destroy all the unnecessary karma we have accrued from our nonsense activity, knowingly or unknowingly. So they do that. But in our Krishna consciousness, now we don't have to go to the forest or do any austerity. We don't have to go and live under a tree. We have to live where we are and just try to apply Krishna consciousness. These have been given to us like this. You see that still, Ekadasi is Janmasami God for you see these things are there. You see, all this is the Acharya's appearance and disappearance. All this is a day. Why do you think this is inside our tradition? These are the necessary things that we have to do to help us move faster in our Krishna consciousness. Because what we have done is terrible. Looking at our life, looking at our life alone, one of us sincere will see that yes, it's really very. So we need to intensify. So when we have all these days, it is very, very good for us to carefully take full advantage of these days, Ekadasi, Swami, all these days, to do them very nicely, consciously, with prayer, begging, Krishna, please help me. These are the things we can do to get us out of this deplorable situation. Right?
Yes, thank you very much. Very nice answer. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Srila Gurudev. We have our next question from Abhishek.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Srila Gurudev. Thank you very much for your enlightening lecture on the concept of what should be the nature of a person and what should be the ways of dealing with people. Like I have a question relating to the nature of equality. You told that we have a frame mindset. We should be having the like equal power should be given to men and women. Means women in this society, the women are sometimes treated under, and they are not considered equal, and they have to face sometimes violent opposition or something. So like as a man in this world, I have to have a separation also from women, that I don't mix with them so freely, and have the distance. But at the same time, I must have also the respect also for them. So how to means not avoid them and not neglect them, that I don't present to them that I am neglectful to them, and I don't have a opposing behavior towards them.
Good question. You see, in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, Krishna is teaching about renunciation. So Krishna explained renunciation is different from hatred. Not because I don't like this computer, then I hate it. That is, I don't like it is different. Hatred is another thing altogether. So I don't want to unnecessarily associate with me. Does not mean as you hate them. It's completely different. Or I'm a sannyasi, therefore, if I say woman, close, devil, this inauspiciousness. If you go to the best devotees of Lord Krishna, they are men or women. The best devotees of Krishna, the best devotee, you can never get a devotee up to their level. They are women or men. Who are the best devotees of Krishna, men or women?
Women.
The women. the gopis. And Jiva Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, they told us Krishna is a property of Srimati Radharani's servant, not the Krishna's boyfriend, not Krishna himself. Krishna is a property of Srimati Radharani's servant. And they are not men, they are women. So we should not have unnecessary association. We should not exploit anything. We shouldn't exploit anything. We should not hate anything. But at the same time, we should have respect for everything. That is Krishna consciousness.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. We are waiting for Maharaj to return back with us. It seems there was some network issue. He'll be joining back with us soon. So we have a few questions up in queue. In case you have any questions, you can either post them in the chat box, or you can just raise your hand so that we can have a count of about how many questions do we have next in line. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear Srila Gurudev.
Right, I'm hearing you from here.
Yes, Srila Gurudev.
So can I continue from here?
Yes, Srila Gurudev. Yes, Srila Gurudev, we can hear you now.
All right. Do you remember where I stopped? Do you remember where I stopped?
Srila Gurudev, you were telling about that the equality among men and women. Means we should have respect for them. We should not have hatred towards
Yes.
them.
Then I said, who are the best devotees of Krishna? Who are the best of devotees of Krishna? They are men or women?
Women, Srila Gurudev.
The gopis are the best. Nobody can serve Krishna up to the level of gopis devotional service. So what do we understand by that? And before then, I already gave an example when Krishna said Tadda Paramamama. Krishna is referring to the Supreme Lord Srimati Radharani is there in Goloka to take care of us. So we are acting immaturely. And if we are very sincere to ourselves, we look very carefully. Any community, any environment where women are mistreated, you can only have inauspiciousness in that place. Inauspiciousness alone you get. Nothing more.
Shilakriti, maybe on the bottom right corner.
Yeah, I'm going there. Corner. Right or left?
Bottom right, 3 dots, and then disconnect audio in red color. Shilakriti, we can't hear you yet. From the laptop, we don't see it here.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Yes. So any organization, any community where women are mistreated, that environment, nothing auspicious will happen in that environment. Nothing auspicious. Everything will be inauspicious. Therefore, women should be considered with respect and treated with respect, not to be exploited, and also not to be seen as our enemy. For those who are not proper in consciousness, it is. For those who are in proper consciousness, it is not. It's like a person who is who has no enemy in his life or her life. He's not afraid of ferocious animals. Even ferocious animals not like today. He's so holy, he's so pure that even when ferocious animals sees him, forgive of their animalistic mentality. A tiger will not eat Bashude. Snake will not bite him because of his position. When we're not secured, then we're going to act irrationally. We're going to act whimsically and create tension. If I don't have any bad intention towards anything, why should anything become a threat to me? If I have something wrong, then everything I will see be wrong. Oh, see women, oh, sinners, oh, see. We become too conscious of negativity and forget the reality. Like Christians in Nigeria, they are more conscious of devil than God. How is that God consciousness? It's not that we should be neglectful. We should be conscious, but we should be positive. A person who is positive will not be affected by anything. We are not talking about being frivolous or acting whimsically, but there shouldn't be any hatred. Treat everything as Christian energy and use everything for Christian pleasure. You will not have any difficulty. This is the principle of proper use, and he conquered the whole world. You think that if Prophet was afraid of this, afraid of that, he would have given a Christian country, would have traveled alone to America, no money, nothing, nobody, just go to place, don't know, there's nothing. And just go there and land the whole universal society. Prophet succeeded because he see everything equal in relationship with Christian. He succeeded. We don't have to pretend to be like that, but we have to follow a bona fide system that will take us there. I've seen so many. I was telling one devotee some things when I was working in my company. It's a very big company. So once there was one manager. He's a British man. He's a manager. When he came to the company, he was transferred to Nigeria for 2 years. He didn't stay for 2 years. His contract was 2 years, but he didn't stay. He didn't work for 2 years. When he came, it's like CID has come. Everybody's when you come to any branch, every auditor is coming to the company. Agitation, Mr. Bal, that was his name, Mr. Bal. Bal is coming. Everybody. So one day, when he came and left, so I told my own manager, I told him, Mr. Man, I called his name, I said, this man, he's not a good person. He said, why you say like that? I said, I'm telling you, this man, what he is checking every sack, so many people do so many unnecessary things. But I said, the thing this man is going to do, it will be worse than what thousands of people have done. So, how can you say like this? Such a good man. I said, okay, I'll finish. After 1 year, the amount of money he stole for the company ran away. Then the manager came to me and said, hey, you're a wizard. I said, what do you mean by that? Remember you said something about this man? What he did? I told you. Similarly, the devotees I've seen in the Christian community, some devotees who are brahmacharis, they speak this, they do that, all of them are wearing white today. They lecture, they are heroes. But all of them are wearing white. Why? We have unnecessarily, artificially, in the name of being a strict and powerful devotee, have gone beyond our boundary. Renunciation is not hatred, which we learn the science. Renunciation is love, not hatred. If you follow the principle, you will succeed. If you don't follow the principle, you will join them. He is a whimsical, immature, inexperienced devotee who will say something without qualification. We should say things that according to our qualification, our level. We should not speak something above us. We don't have realization. We don't hear something and just start. It will not work like that. All right?
Thank you very much, Gurudev.
Hare Krishna.
Answered.
So can we close here?
Yes, Shri Gurudev. Actually, we have some questions in line. We might take them in the next class then. So we have about 5 questions in the chat box and from the YouTube live.
Okay, you can.
However you say, Shri Gurudev, should we take some questions now or we line it up for the next class?
I don't want to keep people for too long.
Okay.
Well, almost for 2 hours.
Yes, Shri Gurudev. All right.
Well, I don't mind. What do you think?
Shri Gurudev, like we have told everybody, it will be from 7 to 9. So considering that, we have about 20 minutes more only from the commitment.
All right, ask that question.
So Shri Gurudev, this is an anonymous question that we have. The devotee saying, I observe in my life that whenever I am in an emotionally weak situation or spiritually low situation, during my sleep, I either get scratched on my hands or some entity pulls the cheeks or presses the chest. I have a photograph of Srila Prabhupada just beside my head where I sleep. Still, I get such experiences. What can be done for it?
Okay. So before you put proper there, you should actually sincerely pray to him. Not just putting him there. You should pray to him seriously. Please, Papa, this is my experience. You should help me. You should pray to him. And as I will mention before, we should hear something, especially attentively, before we should, if we really seriously communicate, not just casually, if you really communicate, you should do pray intensely. And with that mood, take rest. We will have a very wonderful experience. That will help us. So it is good that we'll keep the picture, but also we should pray seriously to Prabhupada to recognize that he's actually there and he's really there to help us, to protect us. If we do that, we'll be helped. The situation will change. Next.
Srila Gurudev, the next question is from Radhakund Mataji. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj Ji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much for your wonderful practical series. Sometimes we get disconnected with the higher energy due to lower modes and mind as enemy bombards negativity. How can we switch back? She's sorry if she has missed out any practical exercise.
I don't seem to get it fully yet.
Srila, should I just repeat the question once?
Yes.
Sometimes we get disconnected with the higher energy due to lower modes and mind acting as an enemy, bombarding negativity. Right. How can we switch back?
That is very important for us to be prayerful. If we are very, very prayerful and very attentive to what we hear, we are practicing it. When something happens and we are disconnected because, like she said, we are disconnected from the higher thing. Therefore, we feel the lower energies. But if we are been practicing and praying seriously, when that happens, the power of that prayer and our sincerity will help us to remember, oh, we're not supposed to be like this. And then we'll come back on track and move on. Krishna is always there and looking at our situations, and he's always ready to help us. So we do something, when we take what we're hearing very seriously, pray for them. He will descend. When we actually did, he will descend. And then help us to get out of it. He will really take us out of it. So we should be prayerful and show some dependence on Krishna. Should show that. I remember one time. Once I just got. I don't know if I should tell, because we're dealing with practical things. We're dealing with practical things. This is experience, so you can understand. Once I woke up with a headache, and I was thinking, if during the day it will go, but it continued. I did all that I have to do the whole day, not being disturbed by that. But when I was about going to bed, I noticed it was still very, very severe. It was happening. So when I saw that, I just seriously offer prayer to Guru and I pray seriously. This thing has been there since I don't know what it is. Please help me take care of it. When I slept, I saw Gurudev came and he took it away. So these things are working, not an empty thing. So I didn't wake up with it again. I woke up free. Actually, he came and saw that. Okay. And it was gone. So if we're really praying seriously, I'm sure it will happen to everybody. So try, and Krishna will always come and help us. Right?
Yes, Shila Gurudev. Thank you so much for the answer. Next, we have Aishwarya Prabhuji with the question.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances.
How are you?
I'm fine by your mercy, Gurudev. Thank you.
All right. What's your question?
Gurudev, my question is, are you mentioned that our prayers are meant for the glorification of the Lord, but our
Yes.
but our current prayers are selfish and a harassment. So I would like to seek your guidance on how do we really pray nicely that the prayers are not selfish and they are not a harassment.
Okay. So the Bhakti Dhira Swati Chakra, he taught her how to pray. My dear Lord Krishna, I'm a poor beggar, I'm nothing. So I'm begging you to employ me in your company. Please employ me in your company. At the end of the month, I don't want money. I pray that you pay me with a salary of pure love for Krishna. Bhakti Dhira Saraswati's way of prayer. And we look at Bhakti Thakura's songs. They are all prayers, all of them are prayers. Gopinath, all prayers. Confessional prayers, expressing our weakness, where we are weak. We are telling Krishna, I'm weak here, I'm weak here, I'm weak here. This is me. This is me. Therefore, I beg you for help so I can become a devotee. And look at Rupa Goswami is praying. I'm not born in a Brahmana family. I don't have the culture of bhakti. Neither am I properly aligning myself with the process of Krishna consciousness. I am disqualified in all areas. But still, my situation is like a dwarf guy trying to catch a moon. But still, with all the disqualifications I have, it is my desire that you give me opportunity for pure devotion at the lotus feet. But you know, to Christ is praying, my dear Lord, please make and let your lotus feet be my residence. Give me residence at your lotus feet. Please give me the treasure of the holiness of Krishna. I have wasted the whole of my life in materialistic life. I pursued education when I pursued money and education when I became a youth. I have wasted the whole of my life, and now the news of my sinful activity have choked me to the my dear Lord. This is my situation. What can I do now? What can I do? Please help me. This is our charity about Untitled Chapter, Saraswati, Narottam Das Thakura, Rupa Goswami. All of them are teaching. Srila Prabhupada is praying. You brought me here from America. This forever. I don't know why you brought me here. I guess you have a business. Please, I have no qualification for anything, but you brought me here. You brought me here to make me dance. Please make me dance. I have faith in the Holy Name. I don't know you, Krishna, but I have faith in the Holy Name. I have faith in my spiritual master. And this I'm begging you, please help me. If we make this a conscious prayer with feelings regularly, not just few days, regularly, constant, every day you should be prayerful. But Krishna is hearing, constantly is hearing. And as we continue to practice sincerely and make a lot of effort to please Him, we will succeed. In proper say, you try, Krishna will. Does it make sense?
Yes, Gurudev. Thank you. It does make sense.
You read Akura's prayer. Look at what after singing, you should read the meaning and see what they're praying. Very powerful.
Gurudev, I have another question. Can I ask?
Yes.
You mentioned that we should be very attentive while we are hearing lectures.
Yes.
And you also mentioned that, before we sleep, we should hear attentively and then sleep. The sleep will be wonderful and it will be mindful sleep. So I had a question in my mind. If I'm hearing a lecture and I sleep while the person who is the speaker who is speaking, will that be a disrespect towards the person and we should stop the lecture and then sleep?
No, it's not a disrespect if you sleep, because in that way, in that way, we are having the association with the person. That is mindful sleep. So I'll tell you, if you do this thing consciously, even while you're sleeping, it is then you will hear that one in your dream. You will hear that very lecture in your dream. And you hear exactly as if you are physically present. This has happened to me many times. I'm telling you experience. I'm telling you my experience. So please practice it and see it will work for you like experience.
Yes, Gurudev, thank you.
You're sitting in physical class and you sleep. That is it. But this one you are practicing mindful sleep. Different. You can do that. So you wake up this morning, see hearing that lecture. Very refreshing. The soul will hear, even though the body is here, the soul will hear. And if you are very serious, then the soul will be hearing that lecture actively. That is mindful sleep. When you're now hearing it in the dream, that is mindful sleep.
Okay, Gurudev, thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Krishna. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Gurudev. Please accept my humble obeisances. Gurudev, you started the talk with discussion about how the whole universe is actually the river of energy, and
Yes.
how every atom and between atom, all the space, the light particle which comes actually from Krishna, the living source, is actually energy is flowing. And that's how the talk you began, Gurudev, that how our state of consciousness attracts the universe, the way the kind of state of desires or intention we have, Gurudev. So Gurudev, I have two questions. The one question is, I just want to understand that when Dhruv Maharaj was there and in Satyuga time, the mystic power used to be there. And I guess we do hear that mystic powers are still even now. So now we don't see people or sadhus practicing or that to be very prominent. For example, in Bhagavatam speaks about the Mount Meru mountain being present, or a lot of subtle things. So what is the connection of those mystic power, Gurudev, with respect to the Kali Yuga? Are they there, or how do we understand their presence? You beautifully mentioned about the light energy, which we could relate to it. But the other part of Bhagavatam sometimes speaks, how can we relate to it, that, being subtle science? And second thing, Gurudev, with respect to Satyug, Dwapar, Treta and Kali Yuga, all four Yuga, we say Kali Yuga being very, not a very good age. So in all the remaining age, it's very natural, it seems natural to tune oneself to higher dimension. In Kali Yuga, how things happen, Gurudev? I would like to just hear from you.
Yes, the question is very nice. Thank you. Now I know I'm dealing with a scientist. So, in Kali Yuga, we don't seem to see those mysterious power that we do hear of in the past. So, if you want me to tell you the truth, if you're not going to castigate me, I'll tell you, all of you Hare Krishna devotees, you eat too much. I'm telling you. Say you will never experience these things. You're eating too much. I saw devotees eating from morning till night. How is that? Spiritualist? No break for the tongue, no break for the stomach, no break, no holiday. Even the 2 days Krishna gave to the Ekadasi, that's the day we eat the most. So we should not be surprised that we are still on the periphery. We should not be surprised. We should not. We should know that we are not going deep. Not just the Kali Yuga. Yes, the Kali Yuga has its effect. The Kali Yuga has its effect. It's the worst of all the ages because every good things are taken away. And all the wrong things are going on wrongly. Nobody can stop them because where is the potency? Where is the potency? We are practicing, but we don't practice deeply. This morning we're mentioning how Bhakti Swami described a chanting of Narada Muni, the kirtan. We should also look at the chanting of Prabhupada. Look at the Prabhupada's kirtan. The whole world is affected by it. The whole world. One person chanting Hare Krishna, the whole world is affected. Duva Maharaj, the whole world is affected. Narada Muni, the whole world was affected. Lord Shiva blue neck disappeared from Narada's japa. Lord Balaram's dhoti, the Supreme Lord dhoti turned to white instead of blue from Narada's japa. And Jamuna became milky. And the gopi was churning it, the yogurt, butter, ghee, and others. It really happened. Rupa Goswami described this really happened. But it took place, not fiction. But why we don't experience these things now? It is because we are taking things for granted. When you go for a meeting, what happened? The devotees wake up in the morning, 7 o'clock, they are eating something. You want to go to Bhagavatam class, they are eating something. After Bhagavatam class, they're going to eat. They are going to start a meeting of whatever program, 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock. In between the time, they are eating throughout, eating this, drinking that, eating all through. By 2 o'clock, they're going to go and eat heavy person again. They come back 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock. They are eating all through the whole time. In the night again, they're going to eat before going to sleep. This is too much. This is too much. It cannot. Yes, we are making advancement because the potency of the movement. But we should not think that we're going to make that serious about advancement that we are going to have effect on the whole world that Prabhupada did or other acharyas did because we're eating too much. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, we are not able to hear you yet.
Yes, Gurudev, thank you for your answer. I just whatever I read, I got, I had a little understanding which you mentioned, the prana energy. As soon as one eats too much, he's not able to realize his own energy,
Yes.
the prana shakti, and that just becomes very gross.
Exactly. You got it. Thank you.
And as soon as we eat less, Gurudev, immediately you are able to feel the prana shakti which is flowing in, which is running the whole thing of the body.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Gurudev.
Hare Krishna, Srila Gurudev. We have the last question. Should we take it?
Yes, let's take the last one so we can go quickly.
Okay. Yes, Srila Gurudev. The question is, Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, many people, especially students or children, do homework which is material, or watch TV or use mobile before sleep. What impact do all these have on the mind or sleep of the person? Thank you very much.
You you cannot have a mindful sleep when you are doing the opposite, and that opposite is very dangerous, very destructive. Watching television, using mobile, not for hearing the kirtan, not to hear the lecture, or something else. We are not going to have a mindful sleep. We are going to have a horrible sleep. We are not going to have serious taste for Krishna consciousness. Our taste for Krishna consciousness will not be serious because we are opening ourselves. We open our chakra, the energy for negative energy to enter into it and distract or weaken our system. That the prana energy will not be effective, will not function properly because it's being choked up with our being open to negativities. So this must be given up because it's very dangerous for our Krishna consciousness. Very, very dangerous. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Srila Gurudev. Thank you so much for today's class. And we're very grateful to you that you gave us your time and such wonderful learnings that we got from the question and answers as well. Thank you so much, Srila Gurudev. His Holiness Bhakti Dhira Damodara Swami Maharaj ki Jai.
Srila Prabhupada.
Jai.
Jai.
Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai.
Jai.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Maharaj ji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Srila Gurudev.
Haribol.